Hi guys, it's Ani from Create Your Future, and today I have amazing news. So not only will I be sharing a success story, but I have a course available for you, and I'm so excited to share this with you. Like everything in this course, and it's going to be available. So it's going to be in the description box down below, the link to it. Everything in this course is literally everything I've done to manifest my dream life, my dream relationship. So I want you to really know that everything I put into it is all coming from like my true experiences and passions, and uh, even all the success my clients have had. I've been using these techniques with them. So I cannot wait for you guys to check out the course. It's going to be available again in the description box down below. And it's to manifest your SP. Not only to manifest SP, uh, it's to get a committed relationship and maintain it. Um, I think that's what we all really truly want with our SP, right? Not just like uh, just some communication or just some, like we see each other here and there, but nothing serious. We all truly want a loving, committed, stable, consistent relationship. So my course is going to be available in this description box down below. And let's get into this success story. Okay. Dear Ani and Create Your Future team, I have been trying to write this email for a while now, but working as a doctor during a pandemic can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. Yes, and thank you. My apologies for taking so long to share my story with you. No worries. My SP and I got together during the summer of 2019. I wasn't very excited about a long distance relationship, but he did all the work pursuing me and making plans. When I finally fell for him, he decided the distance was a problem. Yeah, I know, I totally created that. Yes, you did. We went for a while with very little contact, but I never forgot him. Early in the year, we got back in touch and things continued. Although he always made clear that due to distance, our relationship couldn't be very romantic or exclusive, I have had 2 sessions with Ani, and after every session, I got movement from my SPS. From the start, Ani noticed that our relationship wasn't any close to logical. We weren't together anymore, yet he texted me almost every day, except on the weekends. I realized that I was assuming he was busy with his family or anything else and that I wasn't his priority. Working hard Working hard, it took me just a couple of weeks to turn this around. At the beginning, I would take a look at my phone when it was almost midnight and I hadn't heard from him all day, and I'd say to myself, he's going to text me. He texts me every day. And just like magic, a few minutes later, I got a text from him. We were in touch daily, but nothing romantic. I never despair. Time isn't relevant when you're getting what you want, right? Right. Due to the cold weather and the surge of new COVID cases, I got busy with work and took my focus off him while still affirming, I am his number one priority. He has never loved anyone like he loves me. He can't stop thinking about me. I didn't struggle much with mental diet for my affirmations. I would flip my thoughts as often as I had to. What bothered me often was my old story with him and the feelings attached to it. We get comfortable with the old story and it's difficult to let go. In my mind, I knew that everything was me, but blaming him was the easiest path. This is so true. I started manifesting small things like he's flirting with me, he's calling me romantic nicknames, etc. And once again, we got closer. Things seemed to be going quite good, and again, he would talk about the distance and how difficult it would be for me to relocate because of my job and the things I've had to sacrifice to obtain a medical license in this country. This time, I didn't just say it was all right. I told him what I needed. I told him what I needed to hear myself, that it didn't matter how many evidence we would see that we could make this work. His mind was so used to thinking that things couldn't work out between us that nothing could change it. Saying that changed me and changed him as well. Of course, he's me pushed out. It was time to let the old story go. It took me a while, but I finally made peace with myself. A few weeks later, he started flirting with me, making plans to see me, but this time, instead of saying we we would do this and that, he was saying we are going to do this and we are going to do that. I'm going to take you here and I'm going to take you there. Yes, this was different. I never pushed for anything. It came naturally. He was making space in his life for me, and I could see that. He wasn't just ready to commit and overcome the distance. He was ready to settle down with me. Now we are together, making plans to see each other, and he's talking about serious commitment and marriage. Now I am his number one priority. He tells me that he's thinking about me constantly and that I am his ultimate love. All my affirmations came true. Yes! It's been a journey, but one with a happy ending. Thanks to you, Ani. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I wish you all the best for this new year. I know mine is going to be an amazing one because I am consciously creating it. Yes. Oh my god, you guys. This makes me so happy. Every one of my clients' success, like I feel like I'm the one experiencing this success. That's how happy it makes me feel. And I remember with her, like she felt like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like what her SP would do was just he would always be just so casual with her. Like, yeah, we'll see, we'll see what'll happen. You're so far away. I don't even know if you can come here and I can come there all the time. Like this is what the conversations were like. So for them to be such a change, like he's literally planning everything with her. He's even talking about marriage. Like this is such a change. And what I had her do was, it's so important, you guys. Like you have to shut down 3D. You have to shut down 3D. What we usually do, or what people usually do, is they refer back to 3D always, especially when it's someone you've dated and someone you've like experienced. You always refer back to the past with them because that's what you know, that's what you've had with them. So it seems like the best reference, to guys. All right. So we always refer back to 3D because that's what we know. That's what's so real. It seems so real to us because that's what we've been doing our whole life. So it's like the logical step is to just look at what's going on right now. And what is going on right now? Guess what? Most of the time, it's not what you desire. So if you want new results, you can't go to old story. It's like you want to go right, but you're going left. How are you going to navigate to your desire when you're going the opposite route, right? So anytime you are triggered, anytime you feel like that affirmation doesn't seem real though, my affirmations don't make sense, it doesn't sound realistic. Every time you think that way, I want you to remember there's no such thing as realistic. You created the old version. You created it. You created how they showed up. It might have been an undesired way of them showing up, but you still created it. So realistically, let's think realistically. Is that the version you wanted? No. You just unconsciously created it. You didn't know what you were doing. You probably didn't know everyone was you pushed out. So you weren't paying attention to your thoughts when you created that person to behave that way or to be that way with you, or to say things like, I don't want a committed relationship, I just want friends with benefits. Whatever you've ever experienced with SP and it's undesired, 99.9% you created it unconsciously. Now, you know that conscious thoughts matter. What you're thinking about, you should think about it consciously, because guess what? You get what you think about. And I know you hear this all the time. I know you're like, I know, I get what I think about. I get it. Everyone's being pushed out. But are you really paying attention to what your thoughts are? Because I want you to see it this way. The consequence of undesired focus is undesired 3D. And can you keep handling undesired 3D? You're going to get exhausted. And most of the people that are exhausted and manifesting right now are the ones that keep allowing themselves to react to 3D. They react enough to get more evidence. And because their reaction wasn't a good one, they're getting a not good 3D show up. And now you have to react again. Now you don't have to react, but now you're exhausted. Now you're like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, what? Why? Right? So to avoid this exhaustion, to avoid constantly having to recreate, reaffirm, be conscious of your thoughts now. Be aware of what you're thinking now. Because what you do right now, this very second, what you're doing, what you're thinking about your SP, what you're thinking about 3D, all of it right now is orchestrated to manifest. Everything's happening right now according to your thoughts. I want you to see it as, imagine you're being recorded 24/7. Imagine your subconscious is recording your thoughts and focus 24/7. And that's the data it's using to recreate more of your life. So think of it that way. I'm always being recorded, right? Do I want these thoughts to manifest or not? No, I don't. Then how am I changing it? How am I going to change my life going forward? You go to your imagination. When you don't have what you like or what you prefer happening right now, and maybe you've never experienced that with your SP, right? So what's our imagination for? Think about it. Like, everything in our body is there. It has its purpose. Your eyelashes, they have a purpose. They're protecting your eye from dust, debris, right? They're protecting it. Your mouth, your teeth, they're protecting your tongue. Or it's there to chew your food, right? Your ear, the way it's shaped, is to receive sound in a very precise way. That's why you have so many curves and creases. So what's our imagination there for? Most of us, the majority of us, think it's just there for creativity or childhood, right? We just use our imagination when we were children, like to believe in like the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus or whatever it is. Like, but if that's the case, our body is so intelligent, our mind is so intelligent. Wouldn't it just shut off at some point? We get to some age, it should shut off, right? If we shouldn't use it, if we're not meant to use it. But we are meant to use it. We're meant to use it because you are put here to experience this 3D reality in your desired way. What causes your desire? An imagination. Your imagination is where your desires are. You see something you don't like, you already imagine how it would be or how it should be. right? So use that focus and affirm as much as you can. Ignore your 3D. 3D is dead. 3D already happened. The only reason 3D keeps happening is because you go back and you react. All of a sudden, we're a reactor again. Why? Because that's what we've been doing all our lives. We've been doing that all our lives. That's the most comfortable feeling ever. Just react, right? You don't put really any effort in reacting. It's just it's so familiar. Oh, someone says something, you react, you take it personal, you take it to heart. You never really ask yourself, I wonder where that came from. I wonder how I created that. You wouldn't ask yourself that because you probably didn't know everyone's you pushed out all your life. You're barely finding out. Or even if you're not barely finding out, even if you've been doing this for quite some time, the number one place your head wants to go, your logic, your realistic way of thinking wants to go is back to reacting. So this is why you feel exhausted, or if you do, or this is why you get frustrated with yourself and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep reaffirming anymore because it just feels so exhausting. The truth is, it feels exhausting because you are not shutting off your 3D. The only time I want you guys to react to your 3D is when something's good is happening. When you get a little bit of evidence and your SPs, maybe they called you. They finally called you, right? You haven't communicated in quite some time and now you're communicating. This was one evidence of communication. Milk it. React. Celebrate. Not the lack. Do not look at lack. Take the evidence you get, celebrate it. Because guess what? The more you celebrate it, the more you milk it, the more grateful you are for it, the more blessed you feel because you did that, you made that happen. You're going to make more happen. Again, I'm going to say this, and it's not a consequence, but the consequence of reacting is getting more. Imagine you're like opening the door. Come on down. Come in. You know, that's you reacting. Every time you react, you're saying, come closer to me. I want more of this, universe. It's like you're reaffirming, I want more of this. Whatever I just reacted to, send it over. We don't want that. So this is why it's so important. You guys, like, I think this is the most important thing in manifesting. Because I want you to see yourself as two people, okay? There's the reactor, and I know I always say this in every video, but hear me out. There's the reactor. Who's the reactor? The reactor is the emotional side of you. The reactor is the side of you that takes things personal. The reactor is the side of you, the part of you that feels helpless. The reactor is the part of you that is disciplined to look out here and make an assumption from what they can see only. Not what they can see here, not imagine. The reactor is the person that can look and use their senses and with what's currently going on and make an assumption and think about that assumption. But that creates more of what's going on now, and we don't want that. So that's that one person you have in you. There's the second person, the creator, the master manifester, the master, right? Sensei. So who's that person? Well, that person's scientific. That person's thinking it's black and white. I affirm, I stay focused, I get it. I receive it. Because that's law. And I'm following the laws of the universe. If I focus and persist and not let reactor side of me affect me or phase me, or not let 3D affect me or phase me, I'm getting it. No questions asked. There's those two people in you. Who are you? Which role are you playing longer throughout your day? That's what matters. That's the secret. So when you drop 3D, when you forget 3D, right? What happens is you become more I want you to become more strict with yourself. Okay? This is a discipline. This is literally reprogramming your brain. And you do have the power to do so. Every single one of you watching this video has the power to do so. If I could do it, you can do it. I'm sure most of you relate. Before me understanding any of these laws, before me understanding everyone's you pushed out, before I was ever a coach, I'm talking 10 years ago, I suffered with anxiety. I was an extremely sensitive person, extremely. Everything would affect me. Like I'm an empath, right? I think that's what they call it, empath. So everything would affect me. The tone in people's voices, I would take it personal. I would be like, oh my God, like their tone changed. Like, are they angry with me? What are they doing? Like, I would get anxious. What are they feeling about me? Did I do something wrong? Like, that's how I would be. So if I can do it and I can get all my manifestations, everything I've ever dreamed of, you can too. And I want that's why I created that course, because I'm literally sharing my personal techniques, all the do's and don'ts. So I want you to know it doesn't matter what your goal is. It doesn't matter, you guys. It doesn't matter what your circumstances. It doesn't matter if you're living long distance, like my success story, my client was. See, I mean, she just said we're planning on getting married together. So it doesn't matter if you're long distance. It doesn't matter if there's a third party. It doesn't matter if there's 10 third parties. It doesn't matter if you've done this already so many times and you feel like you said everything you could say and you messed up everything completely, and none of it matters. You can get what you want if you stay true to your assumption and if you stay focused. If you can drop 3D, you can get it. It's just, are you willing to drop 3D? Because 3D is very comfortable. It's extremely comfortable. I'm telling you, it's just like a diet. Like, can I not drink Starbucks every day to get to my goal weight? It's a sacrifice. Can I not eat the fatty foods to get to my goal weight? Anything we do, there's some type of discipline involved, right? So can you sacrifice 3D for a little bit of time? Can you sacrifice it? Because if you can ignore it, if you can drop it, you're getting what you want like this. What you do from the time you affirm to the time you receive your manifestation, that stuff you do in between, that's what makes you get your manifestation quicker, or you just prolong it. That matters. So everything I will be teaching you in this course is literally what you're going to be doing in between, from the time you desire something to the time you receive it. So also, you guys, I wanted to share something. So it's crazy because I didn't plan to share this success story, but as you notice in her success story, she says she's a doctor and she's been involved, like, obviously with what's going on right now, the pandemic and everything. This is a personal story, but I want to share it because so many people are going through it, and I want to tell you my personal experience with it. So my loved one recently got COVID and pneumonia, and they had to go to the hospital. And they stayed in the hospital for over a week. And obviously, I manifested that because I kept hearing people talk about, all the cases and the scary parts and like, you just hear all these things. And I didn't have a strict mental diet about it. I let myself have a human moment, and I attracted it. So my dad got COVID, and the first like few days he was in the hospital, I was reacting. And this is why I'm sharing this story with you guys, because previously what I said on it's the most important thing in manifesting, this is why. So I reacted for the first few days, and I started thinking the worst, because I am a human, I'm not a robot. Most of my life I've been reacting, and sometimes things happen where you just forget you're a creator, right? So I started noticing that his health was declining. Every time I would talk to the nurse, every time I would talk to the doctor, I would see that 3D's not reflecting what I truly want. And what I truly want is him home, healthy, recovered, right? So I knew I have to get on top of mental diet. There's no other way. I'm the only one creating in my reality. I'm the only operant power here, right? I'm the only one with free will. So if I'm the only one with free will, I call the shots. I call the shots on how his cells in his body are working, how he's responding, how what the nurses are telling me, what the doctor's telling me, what reports they're writing, how much is he progressing, how much is he not progressing. That's all my control, because everyone's me pushed out, right? I started affirming. I was like, nope. Just like how I teach every single one of my successful clients, and all of my clients are successful because I intend they are. Every single person I preach it to, now it's my time to apply it. I applied it. I affirmed. Every single time the doctor or the nurse, whoever, checks my dad's vitals at the hospital, they see a progress. I'm told about this progress. He's recovering so quickly, actually. These were my affirmations. He's recovering so quickly, actually, that the nurses and the doctors are amazed on how the cells in his body are becoming so strong, so fast, how his lungs are clear now. He's literally able to breathe on his own without oxygen, because he was on oxygen. And the only reason I'm sharing this story, guys, it's very personal, but the only reason I'm sharing is someone might be going through it, and I want to share my experience with you. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying, don't do anything, just affirm, because if medical attention is needed, you need to, do that. You need to get the medical attention that's needed. But what I did in this experience of mine, I started affirming. And I started affirming because here's what I want to say. This is also one of my secrets, and I share this in my course. Trick your logic. That voice. Remember in other videos I say there's a Karen that wants to see the manager, wants evidence, wants justification, wants everything. Realistic thinking, right? Trick it. The way I tricked it was I couldn't just say, oh, my dad's home and he's healthy now. My inner voice, that voice was saying, no, though, that's not the case. Because if you go and check or call and check, he's not home. So I tricked my logic. How did I trick my logic? I used what I knew would give me evidence to become more motivated. So this is what was happening. They have to check vitals at the hospital, right? They every few hours they check. And they check oxygen levels, they check blood pressure, they check all of that. The issue was his oxygen. He was dependent on a high flow of oxygen. His lungs weren't able to do what they usually do in a healthy person, like breathe, like normally, right? So he needed the help of the oxygen. But because I was reacting, he needed more and more help. So they kept on increasing it to a higher flow and a higher flow. So I knew that this is what's giving me evidence. So this is what I'm going to use in my affirmations. So I started saying every single time they check his oxygen, they notice it's above 95%. So they have to lower it, because that indicates that your lungs are stable. So you can lower it a little bit, right? So they lowered it. And I said, every time they lower it, it's still above 95%, which means they would have to lower it even more. Again, they would lower it even more. I literally would get calls stating that your dad's doing so great, we literally lowered his oxygen. We don't, like, yes, he's under our care, but nothing really happened in the last few hours for him to, we didn't change anything for him to go from decrease to increase. You know what I mean? So, or not decrease, but from no progress to all of a sudden, all of this progress. We weren't changing anything in those few hours. We were just letting him sleep. So I kept on saying his lungs are strong, his immune system is strong. Every time I talk to a nurse, guess what she tells me? We lowered his oxygen because he's able to breathe easier and effortless right now. And I would get the call. I would get the evidence. Every time I would get the evidence, I would be more at peace. Every time I would be more at peace, understanding it's my affirmations and the way I'm looking at the situation to create more, it would happen again. And it would happen again, because the consequence of my thought is more, right? So again, I use consequence, but for me, it's not negative. Like, the result of my thought means I'm going to get more. The result of my focus means I'm going to get more, right? So I would get more of that news, that good news. I would keep getting more of it. Guess who's home breathing on their own now? Easily and effortlessly. I joke sometimes and say, you have like an athlete's like breathing skills right now. You could go and literally run a mile and you'll be fine. See? So the reason why I said this story, guys, and I know it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. So like, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just sharing my personal manifesting story with you on health, especially during what's going on right now. I had to so shut down my 3D, because my 3D was not showing any progress, and I was having a human moment, and I could not have the human moment. I had to get serious. So I got serious and I got my evidence in a few hours. And every time I got that evidence, I would feel more confident knowing that it's working and it's working and it's working. Of course, I know it's working. I'm a coach. I see success every single day in my clients. So there's no excuse that this is just a coincidence. Or if it was a coincidence, why would it happen exactly the way I affirmed it? Why wouldn't it happen in another way? Like a different vital sign, or you know what I mean? So this is why I'm so passionate on helping you guys create your desired reality in life, because I use it in my own life and I get results. I get results in career, in money, in health, in family, friends, in love, in relationships. Literally, my purpose is to have you guys understand how it works, to see your success too, because that makes my day. It makes my day every single time I get a success story. Every single time, even if it's not a success story, when I hop back on the meeting and I see my client again and they update me and they have a tiny movement, a tiny evidence, I know that I'm helping you become a master manifester, and that's all I want. So again, if you guys are interested in my course, it's available. It's going to be in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If any of you went through anything I just talked about, please comment down below. Like, I know there was a sensitive topic there, but let me know, let me know how it's going, and use this technique that I gave you, like it helped me, so I want it to help you, So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'm rambling now and I'm sorry about that, but I intend each and every one of you watching see success immediately. I intend each and every one of you watching this video or any video on Create Your Future, I intend you guys see evidence of your affirmations in your 3D reality very quickly, and it gets you motivated and it keeps you going, okay? All right, guys.